Hey everyone, it's Deb here from Deb's Greenhouse, and we're back with today's top 5 plants. We are going to show you this beautiful Oxalis. It's called Molten Lava, and what I love about this is all the different colors in the petals. So it is a shamrock type flower, and it does get loaded in these beautiful little tiny yellow flowers. This will get really big. We're talking, think up to 20 inches or more in spread. So one of these goes a long way. Now, the Oxalis can grow in full sun or in shade. So if you're looking to add some foliage texture to your planters, or even in the landscape, you could add this. And it's hard to find really interesting foliage colors for sun. This does really, really well. So I really love this. Our next item is one that we'll show probably quite a few times. This is from Proven Winners, and it's a Euphorbia. It's called Diamond Frost, and we use Diamond Frost in planters and in hanging baskets the same way you might use baby's breath in a bouquet. So it's just this beautiful sprinkling of white that will come all throughout your pot. And again, this can grow in full sun, but it can also grow in part shade. And one of our favorite foliage, this is our Marguerite potato vine. Potato vine also goes by the name Ipomoea. And this isn't going to really produce an edible fruit. This is grown for just the beautiful foliage. This can grow in shade really well all the way to part sun. So if you're thinking, if you've got a spot on the north side or on the east side or somewhere that gets a lot of shade during the day, it will grow really, really well. It can also grow in full sun, but you will see some bleaching on the leaves and possibly some sunburn. Could look like this. This was actually some cold damage that happened early on, but the new leaves are all fine. So if it's in hot sun, you could get some burning on the edges. And we find that it's more susceptible to sunburn if it's dry. So if you keep it really hydrated, it will perform better in full sun. And these can get like 4 feet long. They're so nice. We put them in a lot of our hummingbird baskets. We really love our begonias. We have so many different kinds. This is part of the Nonstop series. So Nonstop begonias, they're going to grow, I would say, about 10 inches. If you think about a 10-inch sort of circumference. We use these in some of our hanging baskets. They do really good in the landscape if it's dry. But these begonias have to go in the shade. So the Nonstop series, grow them in the shade. Think under a tree. Somewhere they get morning sun is fine. On the north side, in front of your house, a little bit of sun is okay in the early morning and in the evening. But during that peak day, from like 11 to 4 o'clock, that intense sun could sunburn them and really set them back. So you'll be rewarded with beautiful begonias if you keep them in some shade. Now the thing about begonias, whenever they send up a flower spike, they have 2 sets of petals. If you pluck these ones off, you're going to get way bigger blooms of this type. So that's all you have to do is pluck them off. What's really interesting too is that these are edible flowers. They have a real citrusy flavor and make a beautiful garnish. So pluck these off, put them in your salads or add them to your cakes. Our final item for today's top 5 plants is this beautiful Lofos vine. And we planted a lot more and a lot earlier than we have in other seasons. So I'm so excited that these will be blooming for opening. And this is the Lofos Compact White. Now the full name is Lophospermum. The compact white will grow at least 4 feet long. We use this again in some of our hummingbird baskets. It's also called the hummingbird vine. And it's a trailing vine, not a climbing vine. Although it's poking up, when it gets longer, they will cascade down. Any flower with this trumpet shape on the bloom is going to attract hummingbirds. So this is very popular for your hummingbirds. Lofos vine can grow in part sun all the way to full sun. So all of these plants I have here together, you could mix them together. And although some will thrive in full sun and some will thrive in shade, if you put this whole blend together, which I think is such a pretty color combo with the yellows and the whites and the greens, then you would need to grow this all together in an area that gets morning sun or late afternoon sun. It would be enough to satisfy all the plants. So there's no strict rule on mixing plants that are full sun or full shade. You can probably find a spot where they'll all be happy together. So thanks for watching today's top 5 plants. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.